All right, second time's a charm. Welcome back to the second week of the PreJump podcast, where you, the RSC viewer, can see RSC product posted by RSC players for the RSC community. My name is Boss Radala. Rejoining the desk here, we've got Mr. Boa, Mr. Wicked, and Mr. HUD-X in his little corner in the bottom right. Just want to point him out there. But we are getting back into another exciting week of the PreJump podcast. I know we don't have a lot currently on the docket in terms of just raw topics, but guys, I think it's going to be a great night. How are y'all feeling?
I'm feeling ready to go, Boz. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first time on the podcast. I'm so excited to talk RSC with everybody that's here on stream and talk RSC with you guys as well.
I'm doing good as well. And I know me and Wicked both our first time, so it's glad to have two veterans here help us go through it.
And it's good that I can blame the fact that we were late, that things have kind of been a little weird as we've been starting. I can blame it on everybody else and not on myself. So, excited to get into another one. Short week, so kind of shorter docket of the podcast. But hey, boss, that just means I can talk about things for even longer than normal. Oh, boss is muted. Oh, everybody's muted.
Man,
nobody could hear you because of my Discord. That was this one's not on me. I swear to God, this one was not on me.
We're gonna just
technical difficulties.
What do you mean Discord?
Boss, continue to speak from where I threw it to you, please, because that's where I couldn't hear you anymore.
I introduced everybody, and then
no, just from right here, where I said, boss, where it means that I'll be able to continue to talk for more than normal. Please start from there. Sorry, I'm not stenographing as good as normal.
Gotcha. So did they once again not hear me then for the entire section?
just literally for the last little bit. My Discord had disconnected and then reconnected. It was 10 seconds tops.
Gotcha. Well, we don't have a whole lot currently on the desk for topics. We've only got 3 really in the lineup here. I was making a joke about the fact that I sent you a broken overlay because there's a breaking news chilling right on my shoulder. Apparently, I am the news.
You are the news.
You are.
I am the news.
Good news.
It is very good news.
But fellas, let's get into the first topic since, I decided to totally set up HUD with a really great setup in terms of overlays. Let's get right into talking about the franchise fight night, which we're getting back online here in roughly 3 weeks. My guy, do you need me to make a new one for you real quick and
no,
send
it's
it
fine.
over?
It's fine. If it's gonna bother you that much, I guess you can. But I like you being breaking news, boss. You weren't here last week.
I don't know why, man. It bothers me. But Boa, you're the man with the plan. You're the one who's been kind of coordinating things, as far as I've heard. What's going on?
So, as of last week, I went through and talked to Mayor H with Safari, which is my franchise, and Winter with Flower Road, which is Wicked's franchise. And we plan on having our first franchise fight night of the season, first of many to begin with. We've hopefully want to do them more frequently than we have, as we hadn't done one this season. But, I mean, looking at it, we're looking at either the 21st or the 26th. And, I mean, Wicked, you might be playing in it. So, what would be your preferred teams to go against?
Yeah, man. Look, this is my first franchise fight night. I don't know 100% sure all about franchise fight night, but either way, I'm really excited to learn about franchise fight night. I'm guessing that we're going against each other, like franchises and stuff. That's what I'm assuming.
That's a solid guess. I think. I think if franchises fighting is a good guess.
Either way, I'm going to be biased, Boa. We're the best franchise right now. We're definitely we're definitely taking it. We're going to be cutthroat. Like, we have some of the best players right now in each tier. Like, yeah.
Are we going to get some steel chair action?
There might be some steel chair action. There might be some
raging cage.
I might be going like old school Mick Foley and pull out that barbed wire bat.
Classic.
We're going deep.
So for those of you who really didn't watch last season, we ran a couple franchise fight nights, and how it works is between the two franchises, they're going to anoint 3 tiers. I think one time we were only able to get 2 tiers because of some scheduling conflicts, but normally it's 3 tiers, and they just duke it out. Once we did it on stream was for nothing more than pride. The second time we did it had actual RSC scheduled matches that were moved up from the Monday. So one team actually was able to get their Monday matches out of the way. They played 3 times in a week, and it's kind of nice to get a little bit of a longer break in the season there. But I distinctly remember the last time we had a franchise fight night, a Mr. Dylon played for the Chally team, the Elite team, and the Master team, and won every game he played.
Wow.
That's something. It's versatility.
I would like to see Boa do something like that. I want to see him come up to Elite and play against us. I want to see him try to take on 2 of the 4 Season 19 Elite champions. Me and Flexi going, dogging, I'd like to see him come against us.
Flexi did something that season.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot last season. You even casted our semifinals, and you were all like, "Oh man, Azathoth, best team right now. They're gonna win this." Yeah, you were all for us, and now I want to see you come play against us.
I casted your finals too, buddy. I'm the reason you won.
Yes, you did. Yes,
the reason you won.
That is true. We have a caster blessing from Boa from that, and I have to appreciate you for that.
Like
but
every match.
There is a but. I want to see you come play against us.
I'm an Amy dog. That's not even fair.
Oh, no matter.
We'll coach you up. Don't ask for coaching
Boa,
from me.
I think the Shadow Realm is treating you nicely right now.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Fading into the darkness a little bit. You're just gonna turn a light on in your room, brother.
Bro leans back and he just fades into the black and just leaves.
He's out of here, everybody.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
So,
shit.
some more
that's bright.
lighting. You get a flashbang for everybody on stream for just a second, but
But, okay, so have we heard what any of the tiers are going to be?
so right now we've got locks for. Let me go back to my DM here. Boa, if you're already in it, just cut me off.
For the lock tiers, we have. I know for sure contender. That's the lock one, and elites more than likely going to, because that's, as you know, both of the them play. So.
We've
Wicked will be there. So.
Yeah.
We've got kind of the unique opportunity here to present teams the opportunity to build rivalries that maybe the schedules won't afford them. With divisions in some tiers and just the way that the schedule gets laid out, you can go a few seasons with never having played somebody or not having played somebody as much as you would like. And with the community that we've got in RSC, it's just always there's always people that want to take shots at somebody else, right? And there's no better way than to give the franchises themselves as a whole the opportunity to kind of, call their shots and say, oh, we don't think that these people are as good as us. Let's duke it out on stream. And we've only had fun with it. And the GMs that have shown interest, it's been Dylon in the past. It's Winter. It's Mayor H now. If there are other GMs who may or may not stumble into this in the future or are listening right now, and you're interested in involving your franchise a little bit more, please reach out to Boa and Tech, would you say, Boa? Other important person to speak to about this is like an events kind of thing? No, I've stunned him.
It's just me.
It's just Boa. Reach out to Boa. If you're a GM and you want to play in Franchise Fight Night, reach out to Boa.
Which I plan on making a Google form if possible for it, and just having that sent in GM Hub. Make it easier for signups.
Well, and I do want to backtrack real quick because HUD, you're not wrong in that the league has tried to foster some rivalries before with the introduction of like division play, but with the amount of teams changing divisions consistently on a season by season basis, and then you don't have potentially consistent across all tiers competitive level play on the pitch, it's definitely really tough to get involved and be like, hey, I want to root for this team. I hate that franchise. I really want to I want to see my franchise beat that franchise. I'm all about it. I think getting more franchise fight nights and more potential matchups that are guaranteed almost every season. Like I would love to see an extended rivalry like Cheese Guild in 5 o'clock nowhere,
Right.
picking 2 random franchises. Let's
Yeah.
say the next 4 seasons they get on a franchise fight night. That'd be solid.
Yeah. No, and we've had some talk about wanting to be able to build these storylines where we can talk about it over the course of a longer period of time. We've already had 2 WWE mentions in this podcast alone, and that's kind of the vibe that had been thrown around when we were conceiving of this concept of a franchise fight night. We want to be able to, host these grudge matches where we can watch 2 franchises, off the top rope, just go punch for punch with each other over a longer sample than maybe we would get to see just with regular RSC match play. It's you can look at European football and the Champions League, and you have teams that would never play each other disparately because one plays in the Premier League and one plays in Series A in Italy, whatever. But then in the UCL, they play each other almost every year. It just seems that they run up against each other. We want to give these franchises the opportunities for those kind of cross divisional rivalries to stay intact over, and it sucks that we don't have it, that it can stay like just organically with the divisions. Like the AFC North plays the AFC North every year in the NFL, but maybe one day if we have enough players that never leave, then we could do that. But until then, I think this is a great way to kind of fill that gap. Boa, please. Oh, Boss is the only one with the sunglasses on. Okay, the rest of us aren't ready for that.
I did get blinded. It was like the nuke goal explosion going in.
Yes, exactly.
I was
like,
prepared.
I thought I was in a cop match for a second. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. I don't know what I'm doing.
What did my camera do?
Boa,
I'm
what do you...
fiddling with your composition settings actually in OBS Ninja, trying to just dial them in a little bit. But
I was so confused. I was like, why is Boa yellow now?
Is there a problem with that?
Oh god.
He did just have a nuke go off in his room.
Yeah, he did.
So. It's just the aftermath.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for the franchise fight night before we kind of move into the next subject?
I just wish Mayor luck. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I think that's probably a good thing. I think luck to be had all around is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
What do we got next? What do you got next on the docket?
Power rankings. It's mostly because I haven't put the clip of the week video into here yet. So power rankings.
Ooh, he's slacking.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never slacked once in my life.
NA production quality right here. Let's go.
Never slacked. Oh, do you know what's wild? I had actually downloaded the clip of the week video earlier. I gaslit myself into thinking that I hadn't, so now I've downloaded it twice. That's okay. We'll get to it later.
Yeah. All right. So for power rankings, we are going to start with Premier. Am I correct?
Yeah, we'll start with Premier.
And for that, leading up the front, skipping 4 spots now, is going to be Hurricanes with Storm. They went 6-2 this past week. Then we had Gummy Bears with the Bear Den, staying in the same spot as last week with 6-2 as well. The Crooked Capos with the Syndicate 6-2 as well. A lot of 6-2s at the top. They moved up a single spot. 3 spots for the Fairies and the Forest going 5-3. Double Mint went 5-3 as well. And would you like to take over, boss?
And Prem, or do you want to take over for Master? Like
just
the next
keep going.
Tier? Just keep going, buddy.
And then for Dapper Dolphins, we have in 6th with the Reef 6-2. Beta Forges with Cheese Guild 6-2, dropping down 6 spots from week 1. Interstellar with Event Horizon, our former champions, in 8th spot. They went 1-6 for the week. Biggest Whales and Well Defense 3-4. Glacial Ice Speed Demons 1-7, going up a spot from last week. Darkness in the Shadows 2-6. They are in 11th, dropping down 3. And then Capybaras with the Jungle went 0-8 in 12th spot.
It's
Gotcha.
it's a tough start for the Capybaras for the Jungle right now. Still, I don't know if they're looking for their first win, or they've definitely had a win.
Right now.
Yeah, 3-17.
Yeah, they're 3-17 right now.
It's a tough start to the beginning of the season for the Jungle there, but big movers. Cheese Guild down 6 is kind of surprising to me. It's not biased at all. Just because I'm an AGM for the Cheese Guild does not mean that it has to be biased. Because I know that they've been playing super well and they went 6-2 in this week and fell from the top spot. I'm assuming that might be some strength of schedule type stuff in there that maybe has led them to the bottom of the or towards the bottom of the pile. But yeah, I mean, we've seen Hurricanes is one that's represented. Gummy Bears as well represented well on our
Yeah.
top players graphics as well. So not a shock to see them up at the top of the list.
Not even that. Just like over the seasons that I've competed in, I've always seen like Storm and Premier, like shout out Shamu. Like he knows how to build a really good Premier team. Like every season, he could probably start from scratch, and he would have a top 5 team. I've always seen them on top of the standings. Like they're tied for first with the Bear Den, but I mean that's definitely going to change. I mean it's still early in the season. I have faith in a lot of these teams like Cheese Guild, the Reef, teams that are in the middle. Usually towards the end of the season, you see a lot of these teams like even in other tiers that are like top, they're top dogs for the longest, and then all of a sudden they start to get complacent. Like complacency is a big killer, especially in any kind of league. I think that complacency, if that comes to their minds, they're like, oh yeah, we're the most dominant. I mean, you're gonna have all these teams that are down trying to move up. That are just gonna take over, and the other teams that are on top are just gonna be like, what happened, and then they're gonna figure out that it was just complacency. And you see a lot towards the end of the season. A lot of these top teams get swept by these teams that are like last. But that all stems off of like replay reviews and everything else, like working each other's synergy, playing with each other a lot more, knowing that it's crunch time. You're coming up towards the end of the season. But like I said, I mean, it's still early in the season, so time will only tell.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong and exactly why. Want to point this out here. We're going to get right into the thick of it. So you see that team sitting nice and square in fourth place, that minty fresh team. They have a certain player, right? A certain special player that has just consistently proven every doubter wrong. And people need to stop sleeping on my man. Ashes, give that man his chip for season 20 already. He got it season 19. Nobody was taking him seriously. He walked in with Interstellar. They beat teams that realistically, on paper, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And they took the dub. It's going to happen again. Mark my words right now. Oh, God, I hope Ashes isn't watching. I don't know how inflated you go any further.
I definitely agree. I remember watching that finals, actually. That was an amazing finals. The premier finals was actually really crazy. And shout out to Ashes. I mean, I really hope that he steps up big here, helps push that team forward. I have faith that he will. They're sitting really good right now, tied for third. Like I said, it's still early in the season, so time will only tell. But I do have faith with him winning a championship. He has that under his belt, and I think he's gonna definitely lead his team to get up more games and take that first spot away from the Storm, from those Hurricanes.
Move on to
We'll
Master,
see.
maybe.
That's what I was going
Move
to
on
say.
to Master. Who wants to get into Master?
You know what? I just started talking. I might as well just get into Master. Let's get right into it.
Send it.
So right now we have the Heinous Henchmen. They are leading number 1 right now. They moved up a spot. They're number 1 right now in the power ranking. They won six games out of 8 this past week. Coming in second, we have the I almost said helicopters, but the Helicopterians.
There you go.
Correct me if I'm
There
wrong.
you go.
Winning 5 games out of 8, moving up 3 spots. That's actually pretty good. Good start right there. Nightmare, they're sitting even still. They didn't move up anywhere. So 6 out of 8 games they won. The Lemurs, they went even, but they moved up a lot of spots, which is actually really surprising. Considering the fact that you have the Scooters that went even too. They went up 4 spots as well. And for some reason, the frauds. I mean, obviously there might be frauds going down 5 spots. Winning 6 out of their 8 games.
You're not even gonna give Framunda a shot.
Can you?
He
just straight up calls them.
Just
What are you
skipped over
talking?
it.
We're calling team.
Fromunda frauds.
Framunda frauds. There you go. Put some respect on the name, okay?
Over there on the Cheese Guild,
No.
okay.
Wicked. Let's be real here. Are you Tech 4? Are you just calling teams frauds now?
I look. He's kind of leaking onto me.
It's a strong tradition to uphold.
Definitely,
True.
for sure. I have to hold up his ongoing thing. Even though he's not,
No longer
GMing
with us.
anymore. But that's besides the point. Brazen Barracuda coming in here at 7th, going down 3 spots, winning 5 games out of 8 this past week. You have Oblivion coming in here 8th, moving up 4 spots, only winning 2 out of their 8 games. The Care Bears, love that name, by the way. That's perfect, really good name. I wish it was an elite, but whatever. They went even 4-4, moved up 1 spot. The Tempest, which surprising, it's one of Shamu's teams. They're 10th right now, winning 5 games out of 8. The Stagnant Snails going down 4 spots, sitting at 11th, winning 5 games out of 8. The SARS from Monarchy are 12th right now. You got Glacier Myth at 13th, the Sketch Squad at 14th, the Sperm Whales at 15th, and the Basilisk at 16th to round it up. What are you guys' takes on this?
Well, I mean, looking at it, that's 2 teams by the Syndicate that have been in the upper area of the rankings. So, just sure that's Dr. Skinmilk's franchises. Am I wrong on saying that?
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
So he's at least at the top of the tiers. He's doing really well. Any other thoughts, y'all?
It's tough with these through 16 games now. I mean, 2 weeks in is just 4 match days, so we're looking at pretty small sample sizes, which is why we see such, I think, big swings, even with the positive records on a week, because we're still cycling through this first time against opponents that are we're still figuring out who's the cream of the crop and who's still kind of got to be weeded out, right? So we've got a lot of wild swings, but I mean, Shark Attack's one that I always expect to see up at the top of these leaderboards as well, especially like Master Elite in there. So definitely not surprised to see them up there. But then I always like seeing our new franchises on these. We've got like 11 new franchises, 11 new GMs this season. So seeing Brazen Barracuda from the Reef and SARS from Monarchy up there representing the new franchises of the season is super dope.
Yeah, I have to shout out, actually, I am a team manager of Army Esports, and one of the players that's on that roster, he is actually on the Reef, Dizzy. He's definitely a bubble player. He's a really good player. I've known him for a while. He's definitely a good pickup. I know he went to free agency, and I know Dolfino decided to pick him up, and that was definitely a big pull. I think he's going to do definitely big wonders and help push that team up. Right now, they are sitting at 12-8 in the standings overall. They are tied for 5th, but with that, I mean, like I said, I think he's going to push them up, and I have to shout him out. He's definitely a bubble player. He's crazy. If you ever watch that man play, you got to watch him play. I'd like to see them get on stream. Everybody should, if they can get a chance to get on stream, he would definitely put on a show for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
boss, do you have any thoughts on these master teams?
No, I was gonna say let's move into a much better tier. Let's talk about Elite.
Boss wants to talk about Elite. Boss really wants to talk about Veteran, though. He doesn't want to talk about Elite that much.
Oh, I surely don't want to talk about Vet. I am garbage in this tier.
All right, Elite's on the screen.
Oh man,
Boss, do you want to read Elite or do you want me to do it?
I'll do it if you want.
You got it.
All right, getting into your Season 20 Week 2 power rankings for Elite. In first place, moving up 1 spot, we've got the Thrashers from the Pit. In second place, moving up 11 spots, Pylons from Road Work Ahead. Third place, moving up 2, we've got Elephants from Safari. Fourth place, moving up 3, we've got the Cotija Cartel. I don't know if it's supposed to be Cotija.
Cotija, you nailed it.
Fantastic. Fifth place, moving up 6, French Vanilla from Creme de Bont. Sixth place, moving up 9, Great Whites from the Shark Attack. 7, moving down to the Obstinate Octopi from the Reef. 8th place, moving down 7, the Orcas from Whale Defense. 9th place, somehow still staying in 9th place from last week, we've got the Sloths. 10th place, moving down 7, Teddy Bears from the Bear Den. 11th, moving up 1, Stoked Blokes from the Vibe Tribe. 12, moving up 2, we've got Black Rose from Flower Road. And 13th, moving up 10, we've got Cyclones from the Storm. 14th, falling down 4, we've got the Producers from the Production Control Room. Say that 3 times fast. 15th, moving up 1, we've got the Praetorian Guard from the Sovereign. And moving up 5 spots to squeak into the power rankings graphic this week, we've got in 16th, the Wheelchairs from the Quad Dynasty. And my guys, I just want to point out one stat as we kind of start talking about this a little bit. The Thrashers, the Elephants, and I want to say who is it? The Obstinate Octopi. Or no, sorry. Great Whites from Shark Attack. They're 15-5, 14-6, 14-6 in that order. But in terms of their team play, they're actually sitting as 3 of the lowest save totals out of Elite. And realistically, you go back and watch their footage, I guarantee you they're probably teams that are dominating the midfield and not really allowing a lot of teams to generate offense against them. These are teams that you're going to probably see making deep playoff runs with this level of play and probably setting themselves up for a championship run.
Absolutely. I mean, coming in from Elite last season, those guys like the Thrashers, they got a good team, like Snugs. They got Nave over there, Ditto. I forget who their 4th is, but I mean, either way, that team's really solid. And I know that they're really good offensively. I've never played against Snugs. I never played against Nave or Ditto. So I can't say 100% sure how their play style is. The Pylons and the Elephants. I know Soup, I'm guessing, is on the Pylons. I think he's the GM over there. I played against him last season. He's an average player, He's an average
already.
player. Yes, I'm pulling out.
Bro, what are you,
Pew,
Stephen A.
pew,
Smith of RSC? Calling people frauds, not calling people average? Oh my goodness.
Hey,
I'm here for it.
I have to give him a big shout out though. He does put a lot of work in when he plays this game. He's a very good, solid player. I would love to play a season with him. He's just absolutely somebody that I admire a lot. He's a good guy, good people.
Average player though.
Average player though, yeah. But even then, I mean, with these power rankings, I think with everything that it's set up to be, I think it's perfect the way it is with Elite right now. I think everything's sitting pretty, in my opinion, being an Elite. So I think, yeah. I know the most scariest player that just moved up from veteran. I know you guys talked to her about a lot a couple seasons ago with her setting the big fat demo record. Has to be Angel. Right now, that team is I think they're last right now. Yes, they are last. They're 4-16 right now, the Demons. But I think I've noticed that she hasn't gotten a lot of playtime yet. I think when she starts getting more playtime, I think with those demos coming out, she's going to add up more demos, maybe try to break another record in Elite. She just moved up, so why not go for it? But she's got to get that playtime in. I feel like if she does get that playtime in, I think that she will, I think that team will move up a little bit more in rankings. So.
But yeah, and I mean, looking at it, I want to ask Hud a question about the Kotija Cartel.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in that team? I mean, you see they jumped up 3.
That team is the one that we've just kind of let run itself because they've figured it out. We've had a couple movements around getting players kind of locked in, but now that they're set and just kind of running, the combination of the 4 of them has been absolutely lethal, and I'm definitely not stalling while I pull up a different thing. Daylon, Nico, Galactic, and Polar have been absolutely playing out of their minds. Actually, no, Polar's on the Premier team. Excuse me.
Horrible AGM.
Yeah, I'm a terrible AGM.
Are you talking about the Elite team?
I just show up and play, brother. Yeah, I'm talking about the elite team. Cav, Daylon, and Nico. There was a little bit of consternation at the beginning of the season, getting things just nailed down with what they wanted for a starting 3, but now it's really, it's just pulling. They even had a player miss out, Galactic missed out on matches at the end of last week because they're dealing with tornado damage at home, and team still was able to pull out results and move up on the table, so they're firing on all cylinders.
Cool.
Anything else for y'all guys to add?
No,
Negative.
I was going to say it's probably a good time to roll right into a tier that I would love to be out of.
Veteran with the light blue. I'm the only one that hasn't talked yet about one of these, so I'll go through this one. Number 1 from the Vibe Tribe, Mellow Fellows remaining on top, and then remaining in second right behind them, the Pushwalkers from the Quad Dynasty. Both with good weeks, only dropping a game in 2 games respectively. And then it's Ravaging Rays jumping up 5 spots to spot number 3 after a 6-2 week. Mosaic Maestros holds it down at number 4 from the Art Club. Dump Trucks down 3 spots, down to number 5. Azalea is up 13 spots, number 6. I think that's our biggest mover so far. We've seen a couple 11s, but up 13. They're into the 6th spot, number 7. The Giraffes up 8 from last week. Gorillas up 1 at number 8. Mako's dropping 4 at number 9. Waters dropping 4 at number 10. Merciless Mob from the Syndicate up 10 at 11. And Gouda Gangsters, then now again, another big mover, plus 16 from last week to this week. And it's another Cheese Guild team. Gee, I wonder what's going on there. Although they went 2-6, so some more looking at things. And one other thing, actually, while I've got the microphone. These are week 2 power rankings. We're through week 2 in like terms of final results. I think we technically have 2 more games played after week 2, which is just why, some of these things might look a little weird as in relation to what our current stats are. But continuing on, Singularity 13 up 3 from last week. Ostriches from Flightless Fowl, another one of our new franchises this season, represented on the power rankings at 14, down 4. Kazers from Monarchy at 15, and then Cookie Dough, big movers, up 14, sitting at 16, rounding out our veteran power rankings. And yeah, lots of big movers on this one, guys.
Yeah, especially that Azalea team.
Yeah.
Would have thought Flower Road, shout out Winter. The man's cooking lately. He's been on top. Looking at this team, I know he made a couple changes, and with those changes, it obviously leading to really good results. So I think with them doing that big change, I think they can move up from here and keep going up. Eventually take that number 1 spot from the Mellow Fellows. So not trying to be biased. I know it's my franchise, but obviously you can see the results don't lie.
What?
That huge move is just, it's good. And even with the Cookie Dough, coming from the bottom, moving up how many spots? It's like 14 spots.
Yeah, 14.
That's actually really good. That's like coming from the bottom, like starting from the bottom. Now we're here, so that's a big spot. That's a good team to watch out for. With them slowly moving up and progressing throughout the season. So
I think they've got a bit further to go before they're here. But
I like how you just said you were trying to be unbiased, and I'm like, dude, I think there's like 2 people on this podcast that have ever been non-biased.
I think Boa might be one of them.
No.
I was given an ultimatum by my general manager. He said I had to be biased or else I'm getting fired. So
that's a good ultimatum.
Wow. Look at GM.
And also, one thing I was going to say is that, Boss, by the way, which team are you on this power ranking?
I'm not.
That's okay. I won't be on the next one either.
Wow. It's almost like Boa knew that you weren't actually on any of these teams in the power rankings.
Yeah, almost like he
kind of crazy.
Almost like he set you up to walk right into that one.
Boa, it's like we could run it anytime you want on stream. I'm all about it.
I'm here for this.
I'm talking about our team, not just.
It's okay. We can play my team versus your team.
I think that's fair.
We can't see Boa's reactions to this shade right now because he's hidden behind the power rankings thing, and he has been for a little bit. We're gonna continue on it. We're gonna move to rival, so that way we can maybe uncover Boa's face for a little bit before we're done for the night. Okay, who wants to do rival? I think it's Boa's turn.
I think it is.
And coming in first, we have the Cassowaries, going perfect in the night. Blizzards at number 2, both of them staying in the same spot. Hippos with Safari at 3, jumping a single spot, with Polar Ice at Mini Fresh going up 4 spots into the number 4 slot. Draco staying the same at number 5 with the Forest. Tardy Tortoises, I'm pretty sure aren't they came in second last season. Am I right?
Correct.
Yep.
And then going up to number 6, jumping 11 places from 17. Iris with Flower Road, jumping up 3 spots to 7. Phantoms, Phantoms at number 8, yeah.
8.
With Monster Mash, jumping up 5. We have Wind with the Elements, jumping up 6 spot. Hammerheads, dropping down 4 with Shark Attack. The Funk Hunks with Vibe Tribe, going up 8 up to 11. Sultans at number 12 with Monarchy, dropping down 1. Hot Wings, dropping down 1 to number 13 with 50/50 Pizzeria. 14 spot jumped into the 14th spot, which is a coincidence, with the Ruthless Racket and the Syndicate And Neurotic Nerds in 15, jumping up 5. And then Ocelots with the Jungle at 16. I mean, a lot of very close, high games in these, like for the series anyway. A lot of 5s and 7s and 6s I see. And then the 1-8, of course, at number 1.
Yeah, it sounds like Rival, doesn't it? Lots of splits, lots of things. You've got the teams that are very clearly setting themselves apart from the pack in Cassowaries and Blizzard, but then it's really kind of a bloodbath all the way through the rest. The strength of schedule gets factored into all these things, which is why we've got such wild movements. But I think this is match day. This would be through match days 3 and 4, so it would be 2 out of division games and then 2 in division games. So. Lots of really critical matches here represented on this sheet that, it's hard to pull that out as far as, like, who's really in a good spot for playoffs yet. But, I don't think Cassowaries or Blizzards are going to have a hard time getting themselves locked up here. Probably next 2-3 weeks, we'll see them start to cut that magic number down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one of the things that's been leading pretty well to the Cassowaries' success has been a Mr. Hyper, who... I'm pretty sure that's the same Hyper I played with back in Metal. I could be mistaken. There's only like 5 Hypers in the whole league,
Just
so
a few.
just a shot in the dark. But if that is the same Hyper I'm thinking about, when I played with him back in Rival, he was easily one of the most mechanical players I've played with. He was able to pull quite a bit of different golf clubs out of the bag and take a bunch of different shots and really spread the pitch very nicely. So there's a really solid reason why this team has been absolutely astounding in week 2 here.
You got anything wicked? Anything to add?
Yeah, I had to shout out to the Phantoms. I mean, bad example. I remember when I was in AGM over there, and I remember we picked him up, and seeing him still in Rival. I mean, obviously the numbers don't lie, and he's making progress with his team. I'm not 100% sure. Let me pull up their standings here. They're 13-7, so they're staying positive. But shout out to him. I know he's always been a good, consistent player. I know he's always really good with helping build teams. I know he's obviously now doing that because he's an AGM over there. So shout out to him and his team. I think they can still keep progressing and keep moving up in the power rankings. And I think they have a good shot of possibly winning Rival. So I think with them moving up like this, I think that's a pretty good standing where they're at with sitting at 8th.
Big agree. And while I wish that my team was on this power rankings spreadsheet, we're not. So maybe next week when we go 8-0 this week after a coaching session today and more thinking, you'll see what is our name? Are we the Gouda Gangsters? Man, I don't even know my own team name. What kind of AGM am I?
Wow.
Here we go. Asiago Arsonist. That's my team name. There we go. We'll see them. Book it now. We'll see them on here next week. Okay, it's a challenger.
So,
All right.
one question.
Oh, wait, that's Prospect. Bobo, ask your question fast.
So, boss, if you were to, I know you said earlier you'd like to be dropped down into Rival.
Sure.
What standing would your team be in if you were in Rival instead of it?
I would probably beg the absolute heck out of the Flightless Fowl to pick me up so I can be partnered with Hyper again. No, dude, you don't even understand. We went from 4-12 to being 7th in the league for the tier when they restructured the Chromium Metal team. It was me, Hyper, and Jojo Mojo. And Hyper, I think, was 3rd or 4th at one point in time in assists in season 16, and that was a big portion as to why we succeeded. So, for sure, I would want to be partnered up with my man.
Who wants to do Challenger? Any takers?
I'll take Challenger. Why not? I mean,
Run it.
right here we have sitting at number 1, Lilac from the Flower Road.
He just wants to talk about Flower Road more.
Oh, of course. And we're, once we're done talking about these power rankings, I'm going to delve deep into Lilac because after this past week, what they had going on, especially playing on stream, I have to talk about a certain player on that team.
All right, glaze the team in a bit. Let's get through these top 16 teams.
So number 2 coming in at number 2 in Challenger, we have the Apple Associates from the Syndicate. Number 3, we have the Jock O Lanterns from the Ghoul School. Sitting at number 4, we have the Lions going down 3 from Safari. At number 5, moving up 13 spots, is Deceased from Destin. Number 6, we have the Hydras from the Forest going down 4 spots. We have the Slow Starfish coming in at number 7, moving up 5. Metal coming in at number 8, moving up 5. We have the Pygmy Sperms. Am I saying that right?
You are.
You are.
Moving up 10 spots, sitting at number 9. And then we have the Breadsticks moving up 14. The Solstice Saki. Or I guess that's, Sake, yeah. 16 spots. That is wild. Coming in at number 11. We have the Squalls from Storm coming at number 12. The Toucans from the Jungle going down 5 spots at number 13. The Emus from the Flightless Fowl coming in at number 14. The Panda Bears at 15. And the Chromatic Chaos at number 16 to round it up.
And I think I'm right in saying Toucans won last season.
Yep.
So it's kind of weird to see them down at 13. Do y'all know how much of the same roster they have?
Tell you what their roster is currently in just a second.
While you're waiting, I do want to point out a little bit of RSC lore. I may or may not have helped Armo create the Solstice Saki team name.
Boss just in here with all the alcohol names, dude.
I may or may not have told him he should make a team called Saki Solstice, and then he said, nah. Let's flip that.
Nah.
It couldn't be your idea, you know.
True.
Rather interested. Oh wait, no, it's because I'm searching for team stats right now. I need to look for players. There was one. Go ahead, Wicked.
Yeah, no. While you're doing that, I'm just gonna. I mean, I already said it right at the beginning, right when we were talking about these power rankings. Is Lilac's team, you know, gonna be biased here, but there's a good reason why we're being biased. I mean, they're number 1 right now, 15-5. Their team captain, shout out Royally. It's her first season. She's doing team captain stuff. She's putting on a wonderful just team. Like, it's a well balanced team. They're very rotational based. I had the luxury of casting their game this past Wednesday, and they lost 2 games. They dropped 2 games, but then they eventually rounded it out. They made a sub out, which we're going to talk about. This player that came in the sub, Heartless Twins. This dude came out right off a sub going into game 3. This dude dropped like 6 goals in game 3. He was going absolutely wild, just crazy. And, you know, I feel like he was a big factor in them, you know, pulling out the last 2 games. He dropped a couple other really good goals going into game 4. But with that, I mean, Lilac, they're definitely one of the strongest teams in Rival. I know they're the best team that's in our franchise right now. But I mean, they look really good. I think they're going to make, you know, towards the end, I don't think they're ever going to keep on dominating. I don't think they're going to stop. I mean, like I said, as I said earlier, you know, going into Premier, complacency could be a killer. So I would hate to see that team get complacent. I don't see why they would get complacent with the way they play. I helped coach them up a little bit, so I have to, you know, give myself a little bit of props. But other than that, I mean, they look strong, and I'd love to see Heartless Twins. I want to see him play more. I want to see them, you know, play him more, get him involved, and I think they can make a big, deep playoff run and actually end up winning Challenger this season.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about our own teams, as you see, Lions is at 4, and
all right, no, we gotta put the kibosh to that. That's in the Caster Commandments, fellas. We can't glaze our own franchise the whole time.
Well, no, I haven't said anything about Safari yet.
That's
Calm
fair.
down. I'm not wicked.
You were literally like, and now onto my team, and I'm like, buddy, what the?
Well, no, it's because if y'all don't know, they were built as a meme team. They have 100 cat space left over, or actually, I think more, with Soul, Letesso, Covey, and JDM vibes, and they're number 4. So they literally just built that to be one of the cheaper teams in all of Challenger.
And then circling back to our previous thing, the roster for the Toucans, the only returning player on it this season is Godless. He was on there last season with Chicken, Mogul Maniac, and Raisin Brand. This season, it's Godless, Free, Panda, and Nunya Business. That is the roster for Toucans. So, still trying to find that winning form that they had last season with a new lineup.
Yeah, and that comes easily with just like replay reviews and getting more game time in with each other, like on their off days and stuff. That's always important. Always keep staying warm. Even like shout out to the Soccar here. They're moving up 16 spots. That's a lot of spots. And looking at this roster, I mean, Canadian Gamer. Like I know Canadian Gamer. He's a good guy. I know he's a really good player. They have Kai Rolick, Rose Fanatic, and Chase. I mean, that sounds like a solid team. I don't know the other 3 guys besides Canadian Gamer. But I know with Canadian Gamer and that result with them moving up 16 spots, that's really good. And I think with that team that he has built, I think they can keep moving up. I mean, he has a championship under his belt. There's a Rose Fanatic that has 2 MVPs, like all stars, I should say. So I think he has a really good, solid team, and I think they can continue moving up. And I think they could definitely keep put a run for the money for the teams that are like top 5 for the rest of the season. So
Prospect, boss.
About time, my man.
Get through it. Go quick.
Let's get into good old Prospect here. As for some reason I pulled up the wrong tier. In first place, still sitting in first place, we've got the Spastics from the Quad Dynasty. Second, we've got Skeletons from the Monster Mash. Third, we've got Black Tips from the Shark Attack. Fourth, we've got Undead from Destined. In fifth, the Hyperspace Hops from 5 O'Clock Nowhere. Sixth, Pepperoni Pizza from 50/50 Pizzeria. In seventh, looking at Earth from the Elements. Eighth, we've got the Honey Badgers from Safari. Ninth, we've got Punks from the Pit. 10th, we've got the Kiwis from the Flightless Fowl. In 11th, Hard Hats from Road Work Ahead. In 12th, the Detention Demons from Ghoul School. 13th, Peony from Flower Road. In 14th, Mop Tops from Vibe Tribe. 15th, the Prism Proteges from Art Club. And in 16th, the Pharaohs from the Monarchy.
Good rundown. The orange teams, and we got to see Boa's face there for a little bit. I let him peek out for just a moment. I mean, Prospect is one. Prospect's not a 32 tier team, right? It's our 32 team tier. It's only 16 teams. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that we've seen the 32 team tiers. Now we're looking at the whole. This is the whole gamut. So even the team down at 16th here is closer to first than the last place team in Rivals say is. So still lots of room for teams to be able to move around and improve. And I think as we continue to work our way down our tier list, the rate of improvement only gets like bigger. The rate that improvement can have on a team getting better only grows exponentially. So these Prospect teams, looking to try to gain ground as the season goes. Undead up 3 this week, and then Earth up 5 definitely, and up 7 for Punks. All teams moving in the right direction to keep an eye on.
I will say though, there's a clear number 1 team in this tier. Some of the other tiers, we've had a lot of teams that are within 1, maybe 2 games, and in Prospect, it's pretty much the Spastics. And I know a couple people on that team, but when you look at the team as a whole, you look at Rampage for the Spastics, you look at Avex Inceptions from the Spastics, they are insane together. 87.9 SPV for Rampage, and then you're looking at a 69.5 from Avex. And the fact that you've got those 2 top 10 players on the same team, 1 and I believe 9 respectively, 1 and 8 respectively on the same team. This is clearly going to be a team that any other team in the league is looking to beat and potentially knock out of the way for a championship.
Yeah, and Display says in chat they're only 3 games ahead of second place, but it's just the gaps start to open very quickly in these tiers, and you can set yourself out as a clear number 1. And I mean, Spastics had to have at least had consistent. They've been number 1 2 weeks in a row now, so keeping that consistency rolling, I think also just placing yourself as the team to beat is better than being somebody scrapping for a place into the dance,
Yeah, they call it paint spec for a reason. 16 teams, all of them being in the power rankings. Anything can happen during the season. Even the lower teams, they can move up. I'm always about those underdog stories, and I'm always about teams coming up from the grind, just coming up, rising up to the top, and taking a championship. And then everybody's like, "What happened?" And it's like, well, it happened. It's Prospect. It's pain spec. It's gonna happen. It happened. So yeah, I mean, this is The Spastics looking strong. Skeletons, the Black Tips, all these top 5 teams, they look strong. But at the end of the day, I'd love to see these lower teams come up and move up and take their spots away.
Yeah.
Which definitely can happen.
Anything from you, Boa?
Nothing really. I mean, they covered pretty much everything. I think the next thing is to get into contender. And
Tendy. I'll do Tendy, so Boa can do amateur. Number 1 on contender for week 2 is Ice from what? That's the Elements. I was like, my eyes don't work. I can't read that text. Staying at number 1, holding on to that spot. Number 2, Clover from Flower Road, moving up 1. Rad Lads from the Vibe Tribe, down 1 to 3rd. Zebras from Safari, staying at number 4 there after an even week at 4 and 4. Celestial Cider moves up 1 to number 5 from 5 o'clock nowhere. Devoured up 1 to number 6. Cheese Pizza down 2, number 7 there. And Wisps number 8. And the biggest thing that pops out to me here is that Cheese Pizza aren't at the top. It's maybe a new era for contender.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Boa. No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you look at Ice, and they have been a clear front runner for contender. I mean, they have been dominating it on pretty much every side of contender. I think they've currently gone 13-7, and next closest is 12-8. But then you get to the lower brackets, and it's a lot harder for you to climb out. And I know me and Boss talked a little bit about contender last night, and I'm gonna let him take over for. I know he has a little bit of a dark horse team. If he wants to talk about it.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I can't remember what I said last night.
Oh no!
I remember we were sitting there talking about it because Tendy had a team that, like, when you look at the stats,
Devoured.
Was it Devoured?
Look,
Yeah, offense.
Hold on. Let me pull it up here because there's one.
Speaking of Devoured, I had the luxury this past week casting with Visionary One on Wednesday. We casted Clover versus Devoured, and Clover, they're number 2, I believe. No, they're not number 2. They're number 3 right now, but they're tied for second.
Yeah.
They played against Devoured, and they're a lower team in the standings.
Clover shouldn't have.
Devoured gave them a run for their money. Like they had to fight for a 2-2. It was Marked by 8. This is one of the solo players on that team, on Devoured's team. That dude was going crazy. Like watching that game, he was not missing the net. He was hitting some of these banger shots, and they were controlling a lot of the midfield. We talked about that with these higher tier teams, like controlling midfield and stuff like that. That team, Devoured, they're really good at with being a contender in a lower tier, being in lower ranks and stuff. Controlling that midfield was they were very impressive with doing that. And Marked by 8, he was all around the field. Like whenever he needed to get back on defense, he got back on defense. Whenever he needed to push up on offense, he did. But he always found that middle ground where he was playing that third man role, and he was playing patient and kind of paying attention to what's happening on the other side of the field. And then he comes in, he was like a lion waiting in the grass. So, if you think of a lion waiting in the grass, they always wait for that right opportunity to pounce. And that's exactly what he was doing. He was waiting to pounce, and that's what he did, and he showed a good results. Yes, they went 2-2, but I feel like that if Clover would have kind of laid off the gas pedal and then tried to push for that 2-2, they would have got swept on stream. And just because of Marked by 8, and even his team behind him, they're really good. They're good on defense. They're good on making a counterattack happen, and that's what they were doing a lot. And Clover eventually, figured it out. But I think that Devoured here, I mean, with the team that they got built, if they keep on pushing the way they are, they're gonna make a good championship contention.
So I've got a question. If I change my in-game name to Monkey Moon, will I become one of the best players in my tier?
You might. I mean, I was like, watching
That is how that works.
Yeah. Watching Marked by 8 here in contender, I seriously thought that I was watching the actual Marked by 8. I was like, I even casted it. I was like, wait a minute. Who let Marked by 8?
Who let him in here?
BDS? Who let him in here? Like it seriously looked like he was from BDS, like back in the day. I know he's not BDS anymore, but it was very surprising watching how he was playing. And I was like, man, he keeps on playing the way he is. He's gonna move up to he will move up next season. But
Definitely.
yeah,
I have
he
the
was
pleasure of
definitely a
being
good player.
in real life. So
Yeah, well, you're very lucky because you're friends with somebody that has made a lot of money.
Yeah, or else he gets world champion.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I have to shout out to Devoured. I mean, you know, Dire Wolf built a really good team over there, and I think they're gonna definitely be a good run for championship this season.
I think they just need to get a couple things figured out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're up. It's your time to shine, my friend.
So we're looking at the amateur power rankings. Hyenas with Safari are number 1. We jumped up 2 spots. I say we because that's my team in amateur. Then we have House Salads coming in for 50-50 Pizzeria in the 2nd spot. They also jumped up 2 spots. Astra Ember Ales, the 5 o'clock nowhere team, dropped down 2, going into 3rd spot. Amaranth with Flower Road is in the 4th, also dropping down 2. So you probably just swap the 1 and 2 with the 3 and 4. Aloof Goof staying in the exact same spots. You've probably seen Aloof Goofs on stream a good couple of times here. You have Shadows with Monster Mash going up 1 from 7 to 6. Surprise going from 8 to 7. And you have Sacrifice dropping down 2 with Destined into the 8th spot. And I mean, clearly I know a little bit more about this tier. And all like the top 14. What was that chuckle for?
Where are you sitting at here, Mr. Boa?
Oh, number 1.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked earlier, because I knew when it came to me.
We had to make sure that he was gonna get to talk about it. We've planned this out.
Of course.
And I mean,
Okay.
looking at it, if you know one of our players, Zero Funds, he has consistently been the overall MVP for AMI, putting up, I think, 1.75 goals last week on average, and a total of right now 34 goals in the first 5 match days.
That's super
And
impressive.
How
so
many?
he's doing really good. 34.
You said 34 goals in the first 5 match days?
Yeah.
Good lord. That's
super
that's
impressive.
upwards of like we're approaching a goal and a half a game territory through all that. That's a bit much. But hey, go off.
And then
It's
he
amateur.
made is 24 goals a game, or 24 goals in 5 games. So, and I just chill in the back line for real.
You warming that bench up?
Oh no, I don't want him to bench.
Oh, I'm
Mm,
glad.
third
you
No,
know,
he just plays defense.
he plays defense. He sits back and he's like, yeah.
We rotate really well though for our team.
Do you do,
But I mean,
do you do the glorious Gibbs method? Where you just sit in net the whole time and oh, the ball's coming. Let's bang it towards this dude. Just 35 goals in 5 match days. Like, what? It's wild. I feel like you're setting him up for a lot of success there, Mr. Boa. Playing that deep third man and waiting for that opportunity to just bang the ball away, play mover ball, and get a good counterattack. And he might be redirecting. I have no idea. I've never watched your guys' team play. But yeah, that's really impressive.
We'll get an opportunity
but
to
I
watch
mean-
him play on stream on Wednesday.
Ooh.
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
That's why I beat you to it.
And and the other 3 teams though in the top 4 are very dangerous. I mean, Astra Amber L is running Rennie Boy, Casca, Max F, and Moist Bravo. Not in any particular order because they've changed up their starting 3 multiple times. But I mean, they are a really good team as well. We faced them this past week, 3-1, but every game we've had was so close. It was honestly worrisome. And then we face House Salads this coming week, which is going to be really fun as well because I know they are very competitive in their squad. A very big change up from what we faced Wednesday.
I'll tell you one squad that's very competitive in that tier. I'm not gonna be biased at all. I'm not gonna talk about Amaranth. I'm gonna talk about the Loof Goose. They I casted their one game and it was actually no, I did not cast their game. That was MD and Carnage. But even then, looking at their stats, I mean, Rich Roland, he's I'm sorry, no, I did have the luxury because they did play against Amaranth. But Rich Roland, I mean, I made that whole entire meme of like, yeah, he's Rich Roland, but he's Rick Roland. He was Rick Roland the heck out of Amaranth. He's been putting up impressive numbers. I think right now he's I'm not 100% sure. I don't have the stats pulled up, but like just looking at like player stats from the stream update, he has, you know, that whole
21
team,
goals, 9 assists, and 10 saves.
that's pretty all around kind of player, you know. And I just feel like that whole entire team, even knowing like demonic goat over there, shout out to him. I know I've drafted him whenever I was a AGM over at the Monster Mash. I remember I had the luxury of building an AMI team, and he was one of the players that I took in. I know he's a solid player, so that team definitely in your tier is definitely somebody to keep an eye out for. Just watch out for them. They're good like the snake in the grass. I feel like they're gonna come out of the woodwork and show you guys that they want to take that #1 spot. So
Definitely.
Boss, anything on Amy?
No, sir.
Cool. That's all the tiers. Want to talk about something else?
Actually, yeah. I was yapping about
Probably
it.
for the clip of the week, and then we can
Wrap things up here.
Okay, we can look at we can look at Boa for a little bit. All right, clip of the week. So if you weren't here last week and you didn't have the distinct pleasure of getting to watch the premiere of the first one, you get to see the second one, week 2 here. It has been a huge undertaking. Party Shark doing the video editing. It has been great to have it back. Please continue to submit your clip of the week submissions each week. And here is your RSC premiere of clip of the week number 2 for season 20. I'm pre-jumping this, guys. Okay, watch.
Let me pre-jump this.
Let me pre-jump. This is crazy. We're back live. Wicked. You were about to say something about how crazy and cracked Panda is. Say it on air.
Look, Panda man, if you're here, you're a bad man. You know, this dude, I've played against him in 2s, and the fact that I'm pre-jumping this, that definitely sounds like something that he would calm. I've sat in when he was playing with people, and he definitely he's crazy. He's a funny guy, like when it comes to calming and talking and stuff like that. And the fact that he's saying stuff like that and he actually does it and it works, man, Panda, you're crazy. And even like the first clip that we watched, Frozen Slacker, that dude with a nasty double tap. I know every single day, like even on my days off, I'm sitting here at home, you know, I'm kind of just chilling on Discord. I'm watching YouTube, and every single day he's always in the Monster Mash Discord, just chilling. He's playing Rocket League. He's always posting clips. He has some really crazy clips for where he's at, and I know he grinds the heck out of Rocket League. So no surprise there that he was on this montage.
Yeah, he was actually on the previous one as well. And I think he's actually submitted some more for this week. So it's going to be fun to go through and see. I still have to go through and vote for my personal one, along with the rest of our committee. So speaking of which, make sure you go through and follow the socials. We just recently started back our social media subcommittee. So that's been fun helping run that.
It's big to have it back and rolling. And as any of you who watched that last clip may have noticed, there wasn't a clip for every tier in it. So if you are a player in a tier that was unrepresented, send your clips in, because if nobody else sends them in, you're in the video. Like, send them in. Make sure that we've got enough representation to have everybody here, and we're continuing to run them every week. So you continue to have opportunities, and then rolling into that, we've got the Guess That tier that's spinning up, or already has spun up, I think, this past week. So any clips that don't get used for the clip of the week get repurposed for Guess That tier, where we can let all these let our community guess who's doing what in what tier, because like the flip reset we saw in Rival, it's not a given just based on what you see anymore. So definitely some fun stuff if you follow the socials and you get to know what all is coming. But there's nothing else coming tonight. We're all done, gentlemen. We've gotten through the docket. Boss, please, you do the thing. Anything else?
Well, no, I got nothing else, and if nobody else has anything else, thank you guys for joining us for the second week of the PreJump podcast in season 20. We'll catch you hopefully next week. Everybody stay frosty.